Great day, everyone. Great day. We are here this morning as we begin this journey. 2027, we'll see us journeying to Johannesburg, South Africa, to celebrate the 40th Biennial Convention. To that end, and in preparation for such, we are beginning a series of informational presentations. The conversations will center around the things that we need to do to prepare, be informed and engaged, and excited to participate in and be a part of this momentous and historical occasion. Today, we have several presenters who will talk briefly about various topics. Now, we know these presentations are snippets. They are brief. They are shorts. But the goal is to have you get a sense of preparation and knowledge of what we will experience. If after today, any of your districts, any of your conferences or groups wish to engage our presenters further, they will provide their information so that you might feel free to schedule them. And then later on, we'll have a few other presenters for our Zoom platforms. But today, we hope that this serves as a starting place to whet your appetite, to engage you in conversation as we all begin our own planning and preparing for this historic occasion. This day, we begin in decency and in order with the centering word of prayer from CLO chaplain Charlie Nichols, and following him, we'll have greetings from our Connectional Lay Organization President Makiti.
Thank you, Madam Director. Let us pray. Gracious God, we come before you as we prepare for this meeting and the journey that lies ahead. We ask for your presence to guide our conversation, our decisions, and our plans. Grant us clarity of mind, unity of purpose, and wisdom in all that we do. As many among us will be traveling, we ask for your protection over every mile. Watch us on the roads, in the skies, and wherever our path may lead. Keep us safe from harm, steadfast in spirit, and mindful of those around us. May our work be meaningful and our efforts fruitful. Help us represent our organization with integrity, kindness, and purpose wherever we go. Let our travels not only accomplish our goals, but also strengthen our connection and broaden our understanding. This we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon for those on the continent of Africa. Thank you, Chaplain Nichols, for your prayer. Director of Lay Activities, Patricia Ryan, and your team, we thank you for the wonderful work that you are doing to get us prepared, to gather information and get us prepared for the journey to Johannesburg. We thank you most heartily. And for all the presenters today, we thank you for what you have prepared for us. We're going to be listening attentively and getting ready for Johannesburg. I would like to say to everybody who is on the webinar today, we thank you that you have made time and you have created this time to be here. And I wish you all the best. Let us listen to what our presenters are going to say and be informed of the things that we can expect. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. So now we begin. We begin this informational, powerful session. We will listen with rapt attention. Firstly, we begin with our presenters on medical and just geographical information, just some fundamental information that we're going to begin with. We have in the room to talk to us is Dr. Weta Collins, who who is a family medicine doctor in Texas. She received her study of the Mahari Medical School of Medicine, and she's been in practice more than 25 years, but she currently serves as the medical director for the International Health Commission of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Dr. Wida Collins. We also have on our call, we have Dr. Morani from, I think, Johannesburg, South Africa. He'll be listening in and offer any tidbits that he might want to add as appropriate. And then we also have Dr. Neville Owens, who's an associate professor of religious studies at the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. He teaches within the university's social sciences area. There's a game that little kids play all the time, used to back in the day. I'm dating myself. It was called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It's the way to find out where an item is. So I want us to know exactly where in the world is South Africa, and that's what he'll bring to us. And so for the next few moments, they will engage us in their own way, giving us information. I ask that you take notes. If you have questions, you can capture them, and if we have time toward the end of the session, we might want to respond to some. If not, we'll use the generated notes from this session to create a frequently asked questions and answers, and we can follow up with our subsequent session. But for right now, hear ye Dr. Wida Collins, Dr. Rawani, hope I'm saying it right, sir. Forgive me if I'm not. And you also hear from Dr. Neville Owens. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I am going to share my slide. Definitely thank everyone from the Connectional Lay organization and leadership for this opportunity to share with you this morning. And all right, is everyone able to see the slides?
We are good.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Dr. Wida Collins. I am honored to serve as medical director for the AME Church's International Health Commission. I have been a physician, as she stated, for over 25 years, with most of my career being a hospitalist physician and serving between multiple states. Tom Joyner, which is a DJ, worked in 2 different states, and so I always wanted to be the fly doc and serve in more than one location. So this morning, what we're going to do is really speak about some of the things that you need for travel or should consider for travel when going to the conference and to South Africa. One of the things we want to ask ourselves are, am I truly physically fit and mentally fit for this travel? A lot of times, sometimes we want to go places, but realistically, this could be, depending on where you're coming from, a very long trip and very taxing on the body. And so you want to make sure that you're physically fit and speak with your doctor and make sure that your doctor agrees with you. The other thing that we talk about is, do you have a history of deep venous thrombosis or pulmonary embolisms? These are blood clots that can start in your lower extremities or your legs and then move to your lungs. They can be deadly, they can arise quickly, and you're certainly at a greater risk with extensive or long travel. So we want to know, all of us, if we are traveling for an extended period of time, essentially if you're traveling over 2 hours and sitting more than 2 hours, we're all at an increased risk for a blood clot. But certainly there are other persons who may have a greater risk based on their past medical history. So one of the ways that we can decrease those chances is to make sure that as you're traveling, that at least every 2 to 3 hours that you're getting up, that you walk the aisle of the plane or the train, or you stop somewhere if you're traveling by bus or car and move around. But also when you're in your seat, you want to do some exercises. You want to stretch your legs. You want to lift your up on your toes, bring your feet up on your toes and then on your heels, just so that we make sure that the blood is still flowing and circulating properly. If your trip is extensive, you can also consider wearing compression stockings to help with some of the swelling and as well as trying to decrease the risk. The other thing, we're going here and excited about all the sessions and processes and worship services at the conference. But if you are significant, have jet lag, you may not be able to enjoy that experience as much. So you want to have a plan to decrease or prevent jet lag. And some of the things that I generally suggest is that if you're able, starting a couple of days before you leave, is trying to get on to the schedule of the location that you're traveling to. Also, if you can arrive 2 days before to have your opportunity to, assimilate to the area, and the time difference will also help. But if you're unable to do all of that, try to estimate in your travel the time that you would generally be asleep at that location and the time that you would be up. And certainly you can speak with your physician about taking, say, melatonin or some other sleeping aids to help you sleep during that portion of your travel so that you arrive refreshed and ready to engage in the conference. So these are some of the basics. We want you to keep a list of your medications, and not just the name of the medication, but also the dosage and the frequency for which you take it. Any allergies that you may have, and that's allergies to medications and allergies to any food. Any health conditions that you may have. Do you have hypertension? Do you have diabetes? Are you taking insulin with your diabetes? And keep a list in your phone so that if something occurs and that information, you need to grab it quickly, then that's available. You also want to share that information with a travel partner that hopefully will be with you on site, as well as an emergency contact back at home. But we want to make sure that you have all of that information so that if by chance you become ill or need to be hospitalized, we can provide as much information as possible. When you're traveling, you want to try to keep your medication in the original container and with your name on it. I recommend that you only take what you will need for that trip, maybe 1 or 2 extra tablets just in case, but only taking what you need for those trips and hopefully in your original containers. One of the things that you want to also make sure of is that your medications are legal in the country that you are visiting. And this is important when you start thinking about things like or pain medications or scheduled medications or medications that require special requirements or signatures to obtain. Is this legal in the country that I'm visiting? And so specifically, if there are certain pain medications or alternative medications that you're using, you want to make sure that you can bring them in legally and what would be the process for doing so. So I like to engage people a little bit, and this is I always say we're going to have a test question, and this is it. So these are symptoms. You have someone with a fever of greater than 101 Fahrenheit or 38.3 degrees Celsius. They have this colorful, flat, or kind of papular rash that has been lasting for 3 days. And this rash typically begins at the hairline or scalp and progresses downward to the trunk and extremities. The person may have a cough or a runny nose with some congestion. They can have conjunctivitis, which is kind of inflammation, or what you sometimes may say pink eye. They can have these spots in their mouth that could be kind of bluish or white lesions in their mouth. And so if someone wants to come off or share out loud, what illness do you think this is? Or if you want to put it in a chat. What illness is this? So this is measles. And the reason why I put this here is because in the United States, we've been having increased outbreaks of measles, and sometimes in other places, you're seeing cyclosporosis. In your area, you may see an outbreak of flu. But I say that to remind us to make sure that we are up to date on our routine vaccines. Your MMR, your measles, mumps, rubella, your tetanus shot. We want to make sure that you have that. Flu and COVID vaccines, and any vaccines that are appropriate for your age group. We are not required to have particular vaccines to travel unless it's the yellow fever vaccine. So, if you are traveling from the United States, you're not required to have a yellow fever vaccine especially if you're going nonstop, unless you have an extended layover in a country with an endemic, that's endemic with yellow fever. If you're traveling from countries that are endemic with yellow fever, you will be required to have a yellow fever vaccine. If you're traveling and you have an extended stay in a country or extended layover or visit in a country that is endemic with yellow fever, then you will need the yellow fever vaccine. Okay. I also recommend that we have a hepatitis A vaccine. Hepatitis A, a lot of times, is with food, water, sanitation. And then hepatitis B. This is a three-part series. The hepatitis B vaccine is three parts and it occurs really over several months. Um, and if you travel a lot or frequently and definitely travel internationally, having the hepatitis B vaccine, hepatitis A are highly recommended. So, what should you take in your personal health supply bag? Generally, I recommend that you take an over-the-counter pain fever medication like acetaminophen or ibuprofen or aspirin. You want to have hand sanitizer and hand wipes. I do recommend that you take with you an N95 or KN95 mask. Any personal medications that you may need, which, we discussed those. Sunscreen. Also, speak with your physician or other healthcare provider. Ondansetron is Zofran. It is a medicine for nausea and vomiting. And if you are ill and nauseous and vomiting, it can come in a dissolvable tablet where you don't have to have water. You simply place it on the tongue and it dissolves. For illnesses that may occur from urinary tract infections to GI bugs and those things, ciprofloxacin or azithromycin, and now since we do see outbreaks of cyclosporosis, another medication, Bactrim, can be recommended. And these are in case something happens and you will already have those medicines. The other is Lamotil or something like an Imodium D, and these help to control diarrhea if that should occur. Certainly, if you know that you have a sensitive stomach, a lot of times I recommend those persons that maybe you should take some Pepto-Bismol tablets with you and chew those, or speak with your doctor about some other things to kind of help calm your stomach. We also, we talk about making sure that you drink water that you know is safe, as well as a lot of times good hand washing will definitely help prevent illness. When we're at conferences and things, you walk around a lot, you shake hands a lot, you touch a lot of things, and a lot of times then we go on to eat, or we have our snacks and we want to go into those. Let me encourage you to use some soap and water, and to do it definitely before each meal. And as well as if you're just even walking through and you have an opportunity to do that for to keep your hands and sanitized. When we're looking at taking hand sanitizer, we really want you to use hand sanitizer that is at least 70% alcohol. Okay. As we travel, certainly sometimes things happen and events occur where you can be significantly ill or need to be transported to a high level of care. It is best to obtain some travel insurance, and you want to make sure that that travel insurance has health care coverage. You would also like it to have evacuation coverage or transportation home. And so that would mean that if I am in South Africa and right now I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, in the US, that I would have an opportunity or a way to get back to Nashville or to Texas that would be covered by my travel insurance once I am stable to travel, or if I'm ill and able to travel and I don't necessarily need evacuation, but will cover an extended stay. If, say, I get ill the day before that I'm to leave or the day of and I'm going to miss my flight or my train or whatever, then I want to have coverage for that where it can extend and cover, the changes in my flight or even perhaps even some of the extended stay with lodging that I may need. If you are traveling from the United States, I do recommend that you sign up for the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program or the STEP program. This is with the U.S. Department of State. And this registers your trip, identifies you in the area with the local industry. You will receive safety alerts, environmental updates, and some quicker assistance if you lose your passport, as well as emergency contact information. If you are traveling from outside of the United States, still check with your local embassy and see if you have an embassy in that area and what steps may be used that you may receive alerts if there are concerns while in the area. So I've also was asked to talk a little bit about the Ebola virus. And as has been reported with the World Health Organization, this outbreak is mostly in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda. Its incubation period is about 2 to 21 days with the average of 8 to 10 days. The symptoms are non-specific. This is a virus. And with viruses, most of the symptoms from one virus to another can kind of overlap. They will look, meaning it can look familiar to other viruses. And the persons are not infectious prior to the start of symptoms. So once the person starts experiencing symptoms, they are infectious. And so, what are some of those symptoms? Fever, muscle, joint pain, headache, fatigue, weakness, sore throat, loss of appetite. This sounds like the flu. It sounds like COVID. It sounds almost like multiple viruses. This, you can have unexplained bleeding, gastrointestinal symptoms, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, um, diarrhea. And so the transmission is between direct contact with body fluids or contaminated equipment or surfaces. It is not airborne. And so persons that are at higher risk are those persons who are coming in direct contact with body fluids or equipment. And when we speak about mucous membrane exposure and aerosol generating procedures, I want you to think about someone who may be having an asthma attack and they need what's called the nebulizer treatment. And so when you do a nebulizer treatment, it blows, right? It starts to blow air. And so that would be an aerosol generating procedure. So one of the things for this is early recognition. If you have those symptoms and you return home, then you want to let people know or your physician know that I've been traveling out of the country. This is where I've gone. And this is where I've been. And they will go from there, determining if you need to be isolated, and what your treatment may be. Again, thank you so much for having me here. I am Dr. Weta Collins with the AME Church's International Health Commission. We invite you all to join the AME Health Commission. You do not have to be in healthcare. There's something for everyone. And to gain information, we meet every fourth Saturday of the month and go over different topics and hope to share. Thank you so much, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
We're going to hold questions all the way to the end for the chat
Okay.
because we're going to keep our time. But you were great. Thank you for sharing your information so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we have Dr.
Sister Patricia, Dr.
Yes, ma'am.
Moran is on.
Yes, Dr. Moran, please go ahead, share. Yes, sir. Can you unmute him? Dr. Moran?
Dr. Moran, I did send you an invite to, there you go.
I'm
There he is.
here. Good afternoon, South Africans. Good afternoon, those in the African continent, and good morning to the members of the church in the Americas. I think just general comment, really. Thank you very much, Doctor, for a wonderful presentation, which I think dealt broadly with the health advisory. And I would want to perhaps later on, after the president of the Episcopal District was presented, I could make a more elaborate interventions in terms of just the health advisory from South Africa side. I've got about a few slides, not more than 8, that I just want to run through quickly. But immediately, I do concur that Ebola has its own problems, mostly in the DRC Congo and DR Congo and Uganda. And further that the current variant that we have does not have a vaccine. So, which means we're more on the cautious side and education side. But I thought I'll elaborate more seriously when I do present, because I would have to position South Africa where it is regarding its response to the Ebola outbreak. And then I'll then also be able to demonstrate our readiness, because once the outbreak is there, you can't keep silent. We become very much aware and alert. So I thought that if I do, I'll have to respond at that stage. But thank you very much for this. And I think people generally, as doctor was saying, those on the chronic medications, most of the time they know their conditions, but it's really just to pre-pack and pack your stuff. Yellow fever is true. US is not listed as a high-risk country, but as you are going to, if you are going to have a layover or has a time contact with your colleagues from the high-risk areas, like South America, if you, for example, Brazil and stuff, you'll require that. And please do it in time, because at least one shot is a shot for life. So once you do one shot now, you're covered. So I think those are just my initial thoughts. So I'll return the pledge of the facilitator and the president and the local and the president of the 19th Episcopal District when she has spoken, so that I just do my few slides. Thanks very much, and over.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moran. And what we'll do is at a later time, we'll have more time expressly for the health session. So we certainly welcome you and thank you. Our next presenter is Dr. Owens, and you'll hear like a little music play at the end of your time. So that's just a friendly, lovingly way of reminding us about the time. Dr. Owens.
Good afternoon to my colleagues in Africa, and good morning to those who are here in the Americas. and I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia, with my wife for her Delta convention, and that's where I'm doing this presentation from. So I will not take up too much of your time, but as Dola Wright has said, we are talking about where in the world is South Africa. And the best way to do that is to just simply show you a map of the continent of Africa. And I say this primarily because I teach at FAMU, and a lot of my students view Africa as a country as opposed to a continent. But this is probably elementary for a lot of us, but as we can see, we are looking at the continent of Africa itself. And just as some tidbits of information, the continent of Africa is approximately 12 million square miles. I think the exact number might be 11.7, 11.8, but approximately 12 million square miles. And it consists of 54 countries and 5 general regions: North Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, and Southern Africa. And to provide more context, the United States is about 4 million square miles. So just imagine 3 of the US's fitting into the entire continent of South Africa. And that should provide for my colleagues here in the United States some context of just how large the continent of Africa is. So now, South Africa. Uh, South Africa is South Africa, is at the southern tip of the continent of Africa. So that's where it is, and I know a lot of my American colleagues are concerned about the Ebola virus, and Dr. Collins has given a great presentation on what that is, and she has already told us that primarily we're talking about the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda is where the Ebola virus is. So now, in terms of the distance between DRC and South Africa, about 1,800 miles between the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Africa. And again, primarily for my United States colleagues, imagine that you are taking a plane trip from Jacksonville to Denver, Colorado. That is about the distance between South Africa and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So this is the distance. Now, as Dr. Collins has alluded to, there is no guarantee about maybe Ebola coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo to South Africa. But think about distance. If I'm in Jacksonville and someone in Denver gets sick, I might not be overly concerned because it's such a large distance. But this is the idea of what we're talking about. Where is South Africa? It's a huge place. Our continent is a huge place. So this is it. This is all the information we need to know in terms of where we are in the United States. Provide some context. It's a huge place. So in terms of worry about certain kinds of things, we can allay some of our fears because of the size of the continent itself and the distance between South Africa and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So I don't want to take up too much time because I know we got a lot of information regarding the trip itself. But again, where is South Africa? We see where it is in relation to the entire continent. From north to south, it's a huge place. So we should not be overly concerned about a lot of things. It's a great place to visit. So for my colleagues in the U.S., just look forward to the trip, to enjoy the trip. Taking the necessary precautions, as Dr. Collins has said, to ensure our health and our well-being, to do those things that we need to do to enjoy the trip itself. So that's all I have to say. Now, again, I want to thank Dola Wright for inviting me to share this short presentation on where in the world is South Africa. I don't know if we'll find Carmen Sandiego there, Dola Wright, but this is where South Africa is, and I thank you all very much for allowing me to present this very short, concise presentation so that we can all know where South Africa is. I thank you very much.
Thank you so, so much for giving us a visual also so that we can see and visually have a representation of where we are and where we're going. So speaking of where we're going, our next two presenters will tell us how we get there as part of the 40th Biennial Convention. They will tell us a bit about the accommodations that will await us and the registration process. So our next two speakers are Sharon Blaylock, who is the Director of Meeting Management for the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And accompanying her or following her is Kathy Drayton, who is the Connectional Aid Organization's treasurer. So between the two of those ladies, they will tell you and tell us how we register, but before we register, what the accommodations are. Sharon, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dola Wright. To Bishop Ronnie E. Brailsford, the Commission Chair, the bishops of the church, Episcopal supervisors, general officers, members of the Judicial Council, all connectional officers, to President McKeedy and this fabulous Connectional Lay Organization Executive Board. To all of you who provide leadership on whatever level in the AME Church, and to all members, and as well as our friends. I greet you this morning or this afternoon in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and welcome you to the CLO Biennial 2027 Venue and Accommodation Update. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "True hospitality consists of giving the best of yourself to your guest." As we finalize plans for the 40th Biennial Convention of the Connectional Lay Organization in Sandton, South Africa, that is exactly our aim, to give our attendees the very best that we have to offer. This presentation walks you through everything you need to know to plan your stay. The Sandton Convention Center itself, nearby hotel options, booking and cancellation terms, and current room rates. Our goal is to give you a clear, complete picture so that you can make informed decisions well ahead of the event. The Sandton Convention Center is a state-of-the-art facility that rests in Sandton, South Africa. And it's a 22,000 meter, which is a little over 236,000 square feet of flexible event space that can host up to 10,000 attendees at one time. Now I know that Sister Kathy hopes that she can get 10,000, but they can host that many at one time. The venues within the center, they will include 2 exhibition halls, a pavilion, the ballroom, 13 meeting rooms, and the Bill Gallagher room as well. And we can go to the next slide. So you know where you will meet, and oftentimes as a part of this program, that the convention center will also serve as a place where you will eat. What I did not include in that slide is that, and Sister Kathy may touch on it with her registration break piece, you will have some meals there as well as some breaks. And so that will include meals and beverages as well. And so where are you going to stay? You'll be staying, we've contracted with 3 different hotels, and it will be the Sandton Sun and Towers, which is actually two separate buildings, as well as the Garden Court Sandton City. Now, our group blocks will start on August 6th, and it'll go through the 12th of August. But you can arrive up to 3 days before, which will be August 3rd, and depart 3 days after August 15th, up to August 15th under that same rate, as long as there is space available. But let me put a pin in that, and to say to all members who will be attending the biennial that you must register for the biennial in order to obtain the link to reserve rooms that are within our block. So I'm going to repeat that. You must register first for the biennial in order to obtain the link to reserve a room within our block. Now, let's talk a little bit about the distance from the convention center to these hotels that we've contracted. The Sandton Sun is connected to the convention center via an enclosed via an enclosed sky bridge. Both of those hotels carry a total of 557 rooms and suites, and a number of restaurants in both of those facilities that are extremely nice, have very good food that I believe that we know that you will be satisfied with. The Santon Towers is directly connected to the convention center, and so is just a short walk from your hotel room into the convention center. We've also contracted with the Garden Court, the Garden Court Santon City. And it's within walking distance of the convention center. And so you'll walk outside of the hotel, walk down the sidewalk, and you're right, it will land you right into the front door of the Santon Convention Center. This hotel offers 444 rooms and suites, and that includes Riff's Bar and Grill that's on site. So the three properties that we are looking at are conveniently located, and so moving back and forth between the convention center and where you will be located as far as your accommodations are concerned, it's very convenient. And let's talk about the, you can go to the next slide, please. So the booking terms and cancellations. Now, the difference with what you were accustomed to doing is that you would reserve a room. Sometimes you pay a one-night deposit, sometimes you don't, but typically you'll pay a one-night deposit and then pay your balance upon arrival. The booking terms for this particular meeting is a little different. And so if you're booking anytime between now and the 28th of February, you will have to pay a 50% deposit for your room. And then 60 days prior to arrival, you will pay the balance. The hotel will charge the balance for the room that you've reserved. If you wait until March 1st to book your room, March 1st, 2027, the full amount of your room will be due when you reserve the room. And so that's how it's set up in the system. So the system will automatically after February 28th revert to a full pay system. And so if you can, go ahead and reserve your rooms as soon as you register for the meeting so that those accommodations are taken care of. The cancellation penalty is if you cancel more than 60 days before your arrival, there is no cancellation fee. If you cancel 59 to 30 days prior to your arrival, there's a 50% cancellation fee. And if you cancel less than 30 days before your arrival, there's a 100% cancellation fee. So make sure that when you reserve your rooms, that you know what your travel plans are and try to stick to it as closely as possible. Okay, we can go to the next slide. And so the rates for that we've negotiated for the biennial will include breakfast in all of the room rates, and your taxes and fees are also included. Now, these rooms are currently listed in Rand, and so which is a South Africa currency. And so the Rand rate for the Santon Sun for a superior room for a single is 3,955 Rand. The double is 4,355 Rand. For the Santon Tower, the deluxe room is 4,255 Rand, and your double is 4,655 Rand. It just depends on the exchange rate at the time that you pay for your room. That will be the actual cost in your US dollars. And so it's ranged anywhere from about $219 to $235 for these rooms on the higher end. And then the Garden Court Santon Standard Room is 1,795 Rand. And the double is 2,000. That's for a single, and the double is 2,085 Rand. And that room rate is in the low, it will run in the low 100s. Once again, depending on when you book your room, when you pay for, not, and when you actually pay for the room. So that ends my presentation. And I'll turn it over to Sister Kathy, and she'll talk to you about the registration process and how that connects with the accommodation process.
Thank you, Director Blaylock, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I will share my screen for the PowerPoint presentation. 2027 biannual registration information. Our dates are August 8th through 11th, 2027 for the 40th Lay Biannual Convention. Our registration process is not different in that we're going to South Africa. So I'll just remind you of the process of who can be a delegate, who can be an observer, and then the process for registration. In Article 4 of our membership section 2, the Connectional Lay Organization membership to the biannual session shall be as follows. And this is taken from the discipline. All elected officers of the Connectional Lay Organization are members of the biannual. All Episcopal District Lay Organization presidents, directors of lay activities, and young adults are delegates to the convention. They're members of the biannual session. And then there can be 6 elected delegates from each Episcopal District Lay Organization, of whom at least one shall be a young adult representative ages 18 through 35. I'm reading it exactly the way that it's written in the discipline, so there won't be any concerns. And then the next level would be all annual conference lay organization presidents, directors of lay activities, and young adult representatives. These are members of the biannual session. 6 elected delegates from each annual conference lay organization, again, of whom at least one shall be a young adult ages 18 through 35. Now we have a little difference at the district of the annual conference. Each president or an elected representative of each duly organized district lay organization of an annual conference, and we'll say that's the presiding elder district if you're more familiar with that term. A duly organized district lay organization of the annual conference shall be an organization reporting to the annual conference lay organization's annual meeting, or which is recognized by the annual conference as an organization. There is only one representative from this level because not all Episcopal districts have this level of lay organizations. And then the final group is each president, director of lay activities, and young adult representatives of each organized station or circuit organization. This would be your local church. And then we have 6 elected delegates from each station or circuit organization, of whom at least one shall be a young adult ages 18 through 35. So at each level of the church, there are 9 delegates possible. One would be a young adult and one would be a young adult representative. So that's important that we remember that. If you have 9, you can't have all adults that are over 35. So that's the difference. And then at your presiding elder level or the district of the annual conference, there is only one person, either the president or an elected. And that's important, elected representative. You can't appoint anyone as a delegate. So this is how the membership reads. And I would encourage you to go back to the discipline and see pages 500 to 501 just to have it as a refresher. Now, these are important registration requirements. Each delegate, alternate, or observer must complete registration in advance. We will not have on-site registration. We normally will have that, but this is a different convention, different requirements, so there will be no on-site registration. Each registrant must use a unique email address. This is critical because we have those who would register and use the same email address. This is how we will identify the delegates and the observers, is by the email address. If you have trouble getting an email, then we can assist you. There are various ways that you can get Gmail. There's one where you can get Proton. So there are various ways to get email addresses. So let us know if you think you can't get one. We'll help walk you through the steps to do that, but it has to be a unique email address. The registration confirmation will include the hotel reservation link. This is the only way that you will receive the link, and we ask you not to share the link. What happens if you share the link to someone who hasn't registered? When our convention planners are reviewing the hotel reservations, comparing it to the CLO convention registration, if you supply that link to someone and they've registered for the hotel, then that hotel reservation will be canceled. And so we ask that you not share the link, but you use it for your own needs. There'll be a link to all 3 hotels, and you can make your decision on which hotel you'll select. Badges will be required during the convention. Once you're registered, you'll have a badge with a QR code. This will allow you entrance to the daily lunch and tea breaks. There are 2 tea breaks and your lunch as a part of your convention package. It gives you a ticket to the gala, the workshops, and the meetings. You'll have to have your badge with you at all times, and we will badge you in to the various parts of the meeting. Then this ties back to your email address. If we don't have unique email address, this will cause more of a complication for us during registration. Now the registration, the dates and the fees. Registration opens today, August 8th, and it goes through February 28th for the price of $300. This is for delegates, alternates, and observers. This is our registration cost, and it applies to all the activities that we have planned. After February 28th, beginning March 1st through June 30th, registration for delegates and observers will be $350. $350. So if you want to avoid the additional expense, please register by the end of February. For our observers, the cost will remain the same, but registration ends for everyone on June 30th. That's our cutoff. There'll be no on-site registration, so we're asking you to register early, and the benefit of that is you get the link to the hotel sooner, and you can make your reservations early. And I think that's a great thing to do because you have more choices. Your registration for the convention is non-refundable. If you're not sure you want to come or you'll be able to come, then we'd ask that you not register because it is non-refundable. And we'll stress that. We've met with the registrars from the districts, and they're aware of this process. It's nothing different that we're doing, but I believe we'll have lots of new people who will be coming on board. And so we want to make sure you understand that. The delegates will be registered, and I'll get to the next slide before I start jumping ahead. So during our convention, we usually have 3 opportunities to support the ministry of the lay organization. During opening worship, we encourage support by $100. At our young adult hour of power, we encourage $50, and then there's also the missions offering, which isn't listed here. That's $25. We're asking that you make your donation at the time that you are registering. We're asking this because we'll be in the Johannesburg area. Our banks are here. We're looking into how would we easily make a deposit from South Africa. We're not bringing the money back on the plane. And so we're asking that donations be made at the time of the registration. If you can't do that, then we'll accept money, your donations, but this will make it easier for us, and the banking would be a lot easier. So we have various electronic means, and we'll be sharing those with you as we go forward. Now, brush fire. To talk about how the registration process will work. Again, it hasn't changed from prior conventions, but again, we have new people that we're excited about. So there are various options that we use in our brush fire registration system. This is the app that we use online for the registration. The easiest method for our districts and the least expensive method is to provide a spreadsheet with the names of the delegates, addresses, emergency contacts. There's various pieces of information that's required a little bit more this time because we'll be out of the country and we have to have those bits of information. The district registrars have been informed about this. They are ready to start providing information. So we get a completed spreadsheet, we update the information, we send out confirmations to the delegates. There are also ways, options 2 and 3, that the district presidents or registrars can do the registration themselves, but there is a cost involved in that. And so we encourage our registrars to use option 1. All delegate registrations are through the Episcopal District. You cannot register as a delegate if it isn't through your Episcopal District because they have to confirm that you are indeed a delegate. There will be nowhere on our registration site for delegates to register. If you're a church delegate, you're from the presiding elder level, it doesn't matter. You have to go through your registrar. Now, observers can go on to Brushfire to make their reservations, and that's fine. There are 2 ways you can go through your through Brushfire, or if you want to register through your Episcopal District, you can do that. We'll have visitors who don't have an Episcopal District, or we have some who just like to register, so you can go onto Brushfire to make the reservation. And your donations can also be made on the Brushfire site. We have it set up that you are able to go in and give your donations. So this is important that you understand only the delegates can, no, I shouldn't say that. Only the observers can register themselves. Delegates have to go through their Episcopal District, and you will work closely with them as you've done in the past. There are some lessons that we learned and improvements that we'll make. In Atlanta, when we were registering, we had some hiccups because we didn't fully understand our new process of badging, issuing badges. Some of the confusion came in because we had incomplete registrations. And so we're addressing those issues that we won't have that problem in Johannesburg. But we're asking all of those who are registering to please have their registrations complete. Your registrars will understand this and can help you with any questions that you have. We'll provide clear instructions throughout the registration process. We don't want anything to be a surprise to you or to us. We'll have instructions, and please ask questions through your registrar after we leave the meeting today. Again, we encourage the delegates to register early and complete all the required information, and use your badges consistently to manage your entrance. And one thing of note as I conclude is that the CLO is accepting the payments for registration only. We're not collecting for anything, any travel plans or any of that. Episcopal districts will work out their plans if they're working to assist their members in saving money for the convention. If they're working with getting travel discounts for the convention, that will be done outside of the connectional lay organization. We will collect for registration of delegates and observers and any donations that are given to us. So as I wrap up, register early. We'll keep saying that. Complete your registration. Make sure everything is complete. Address, phone numbers, emergency contacts, which are important. Watch for your confirmation email for the hotel information. Once the Episcopal districts start registering the delegates, we will input the information and confirmations will be sent out immediately. They'll come, we'll do that work in the order that we receive the information. Contact your Episcopal district registrar with questions. There are too many of us to direct them to 1 or 2 people. But if you direct them to your Episcopal district registrar, then they can come to us with that. So prepare to join us in South Africa. We're looking forward to it, and we would like it to be a nice, easy process. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sister Sharon, you had your one additional remark to make?
Yes, and just to tag on to what Sister Kathy just presented, the registration team and the housing team will work hand in hand. And it's very important that you go through the process of registering first, and then through that registration process, you will receive a link for your housing. But please note, if you reserve more than one room in your name, your reservation will automatically be canceled when we go back through to reconcile, because what we don't want to happen is for someone to go in because you now have the link, but someone hasn't registered and you're holding rooms. It's one room per registrant. And so we will reconcile those and we will cancel those rooms that are duplicates because we're going to see it as a duplicate room. And so it's fair that when you register, you have access to the housing, and we encourage you to reserve your housing as quickly as possible once you've registered for the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That is a lot of information. We have the notes. You can replay it and review it again, and they will stay on because we'll do a rapid fire of questions toward the end. Right now, though, before we get to the next section about the travel and all the fantastic things that await us, we have in the room our bishop, Bishop Brailsford. We invite you to come and greet us and tell us however you want to tell us all the good things that you know about.
Amen. Thank you so very much, Sister Patricia Wright, our doula, and thank you for an excellent job. Let me just say to all of the bishops of the church, my colleagues that are on this morning, along with the general officers, connectional officers that are joining us, to our president, Brother A. Makiti, to our doula, Sister Pat Wright, and in the interest of time, to all of the presenters and all of the persons that are gathered on here, my dearly beloved brothers and sisters, I greet you in the joy of our risen, conquering Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. I am already excited about the news that has been shared already. Want to commend all of those who are working in the background so diligently to make sure that this is one of the greatest biennials that we've ever had as we celebrate this significant 40th biennial on the continent of Africa. Of course, I am very excited. I've had the opportunity to serve 8 years on the continent. 3 of those years were serving in South Africa, one of the greatest places that anybody could ever want to be. And what an amazing experience and people it was. So I'm excited, and I trust that you all are as well. We are going under the African sky, believing that God is preparing something historic, transformative, and unforgettable. I don't believe that with all that is going on in our country and all that is going on in our world today, that it is by accident that we will be in the motherland next year. I believe God is up to something providential as we make that reconnection with our brothers and sisters on the continent, with our ancestors from where we originally came, from the very foundation of where humanity came on the continent of Africa. So we are excited. We're looking forward to what God is going to do as we continue with our theme, exceedingly and abundantly. We are building a movement. I want every Episcopal district, every conference lay organization, every local church lay organization, every pastor, every lay person, and especially our young adults and emerging leaders to really catch the vision. I am so grateful for those that are on today and giving us all of the logistics, but I want us to also see the bigger picture. It is more than the logistics. We need the logistics for the engines to move smoothly and to do what needs to happen. But I believe that there's something greater that God is going to do in the midst of this. So as I close, I encourage you, tell somebody, bring somebody, encourage somebody. We want to go to South Africa representing the breadth, the beauty, the diversity, the strength, and the global witness of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And there's something profoundly significant about gathering on the continent of Africa. We are not simply crossing an ocean in a very real sense. We are connecting with history, heritage, faith, and family. We are reminding ourselves that the African Methodist Episcopal Church is truly a global church, joined together by one faith, one mission, and one connection. So as Commission Chair, I challenge us today, get informed, get registered, get prepared, get excited, and get somebody else ready to go with you. Let the word begin to spread from church to church, conference to conference, district to district, and nation to nation. South Africa 2027, we are coming. We are excited. Thank you all so very much. And again, let's get ready for a great time in South Africa. It's going to be an amazing experience. I plan to go early and I plan to stay late. Thank you so very much, Dola. God bless you all and keep up the great work that you're doing.
All right, Bishop, we feel that excitement. You said we're connected.
Woo!
History, heritage,
Yes,
legacy,
indeed.
family. We're
Yes.
really excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amen.
All right. And in keeping with that, we're going to talk about some travel options. We wanted to present you with some ideas and some thoughts. Now, we are not telling you what to choose because there's so many options when it comes to travel. But today, we just wanted to give you some information. This information you can choose to avail yourselves of or not. But at best, you can have an option that you can choose from today and run, or at least you could say, it has given me some ideas of what we can do as a group, as individuals, as a conference, as an Episcopal district. With that being said, we've invited two speakers today. Again, each will, from his or her lens, share with you their experiences, what they offer to us, and you can choose to use those services or say, okay, now I have a thought. Let me go over here and talk to this service. But today we have Donna McKeithen. She's the founder and president of Exodus International Group. She's served the travel and tourism industry since 1979. And again, she offers one of many options. She leads a full service tour company, and she specializes in things like international airfare and tours and conferences. In addition to her, we have Michael Cousin, who is a longtime lay member. He's currently the president of the 4th Episcopal District Lay Organization, and he's for many years been gainfully employed with Delta Airlines. While we're not pushing any particular airlines because we know they're coming from everywhere across the globe, he is positioned to give us some helpful insights relative to selecting travel, perhaps what is the best time to book and those kinds of insights. So again, take from the information what you will, knowing that we're not recommending or pushing one in particular. We're just giving you a flavor of what is available to us as we begin this travel. So our first presenter, Donna McKeithen, followed by Michael Cousin. Donna, you're up.
It. Are you able to see it?
We are.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. I would like to thank you, Pat, and everyone for your time and the opportunity to speak with you today about your upcoming convention, about Exodus and travel to South Africa. Why Exodus? I think we do more than travel. Actually, I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, I'm not sure what is happening to the screen here. Sorry, so sorry. Okay.
There's some automation in your presentation.
Yeah, yes. It's supposed to go by, by the mouse. So anyway, I think that, doing it again. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't understand what's going on here. Oh, so sorry, this is embarrassing. Okay, I would have to go back and change it, and it's too late to do that. I've been in the industry for over 22 years. Exodus International Group has designed journeys that go beyond sightseeing and connecting travelers with history, culture, faith, and people that make every destination unique. We provide authentic services discover each destination through its people and culture. We handle the details so you can travel with confidence. We have trusted partnerships with the airlines, hotels, and our ground or local partners. We travel with purpose. People returning home with lasting memories. They feel renewed. So we don't just take you to a destination. We help you experience it's the heart. In addition to that, I've had the opportunity to work with AME Church since 1997. We offer domestic and international airfare, conferences, cruises, domestic air, mission trips, various types of group packages, and family and vacation programs. So South Africa awaits you. I'd like to go over the itinerary with you. You would depart on August the 5th, and that is presently. It's flexible. Arrive in Johannesburg on the 6th, have a full day at Pilanesberg, the Game National Reserve. The opportunity to visit Sun City on the 8th through the 11th is the late biennial convention. And then on the 12th, you would fly to Cape Town, and we have the Cape Milner Hotel set aside for us. On the 13th, it would be Simonstown, and you would visit Kirchenbosch National Gardens. And then the 14th, Table Mountain, and later a canopy walk. On the 15th, Nelson Mandela's Robben Island, and later Stellenbosch, Cape Winelands. You'll be in Joburg from the 6th through the 11th, 2027. There's plenty to explore, from city tours, the home of Nelson Mandela, museums, various shops, and dining areas. So if you're interested, kindly let me know. On the 7th, Pilanesberg National Park, located about 3 hours away from Joburg, and it's one of South Africa's premier safari destinations, offering exceptional opportunities to see the Big Five. So if anyone is interested, again, just let me know. Sun City Resort is also on that on August 7th. It is a premier luxury resort offering world-class hotels, golf, fine dining, entertainment. On August the 8th through the 11th is the Lay Conference. Let's see, and on the 12th through the 16th, we have flights available from Johannesburg to Cape Town. We'll be visiting Cape Town. So Cape Town is nestled between Table Mountain and Atlantic Ocean, and it's stunning. If hopefully we're in time, there are flights that leave around 12 o'clock, arriving 2:30, and if we're on schedule, you'd have the opportunity to have a welcome dinner at Spice Restaurant, which is wonderful, very entertaining, and wonderful food. On the 13th, I'm sorry, I don't. Okay. On the 13th, you're off to Simonstown and Boulder Beach. You would visit famous African pelican colony and Kirchenbosch Gardens and the Cape of Good Hope. So I'm going to just escalate this a little bit. Okay. On the 14th, you would visit Table Mountain. And yes, you'd take a cable car, weather permitting, experience the panoramic views of Cape Town, the Atlantic Ocean, surrounding mountains. It's a photographer's paradise. It's quite enjoyable. On the 15th, you would go to Robben Island, explore the historical prison where Nelson Mandela was held for 18 years, and learn about South Africa's journey to freedom. Later, the Cape Town winelands, discover Stellenbosch, and explore their vineyards. And then on the 16th, you would return home. Okay, so the cost of this would range, and we're giving you a range. Let me go 1 second, because you really do need to see this. I apologize again. Okay, I'm giving you a range of price between $2,600 and $4,800. Okay, it includes your round trip international air, and it's coach or economy from Washington, Dulles, New York, or Atlanta, whichever is convenient. And we can also provide local or air from your home city to any of these ports. It includes domestic flights from Johannesburg to Cape Town, your airport transfers in Cape Town, historical tours. You would stay at the Cape Milner or something similar, and it includes breakfast. We have airlines like Delta, KLM, and Kenyan Airways now that have convenient flights. Booking early is absolutely imperative. So why reserve sooner? Because of affordability, avoid airline fare increases. They change rapidly, daily. Okay, and then you have route availability. If there's something that you need specifically, if you're planning on doing, additional programs, extending your trip, you want to book early so that you can get exactly what you need. And then, of course, hotel and group space fill quickly. Again, we work with major airlines, and it's still early, very early. They won't start booking, or they won't start allowing us to book airline seats until this August is gone. So right now, again, start, thinking about what you might want to do in terms of your own program. We offer coach and business class discounted seats, and we're able to also obtain your seat assignments. Maybe an extra cost for seat assignments. I'm sure that if some of you have traveled recently in the last couple of years, that you understand that you would have to pay some additional for selected seat assignments. So we also have some options if you would like. For instance, Durban, which I absolutely think that everyone should visit Durban. It's a collection of cultures like Zulu and Indian and Portuguese, as well as British and colonial, all in one melting pot. And it's a wonderful place to visit. So I would suggest that. Or Victoria Falls, witness the world's greatest waterfall, and you can even take a helicopter ride over the falls if the weather is right. And then you have Kruger. Okay. If you want to register for this program, visit our website at xodusint.com. And you would need to use XIG LAY 0805, refer to as booking code, and we will get your information and get back to you. And if you have any questions, please call me at 703-971-9660. I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I'm so sorry about the slides. Look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And once again, thank you for sharing what is available through your company. But we know that we have many, many other companies also. We wanted to give you an idea of what is out there. And as you begin, as Episcopal districts gather together and begin to make their plans, we just wanted you to know what are some of the options that you can look for as you explore companies that you want to use. But thanks for sharing the possibilities of this company. I told you that our next presenter, we're very flexible, is going to be Michael. Michael is on the way. Michael is traveling, and he's doing his best to get, he just flew in from an annual conference. So I told him we're going to pivot for a little bit. Nam is coming on. So our next speaker, and Michael will come at the end, and he's excited. So he's worth the wait. But right now, though, as we move forward and value your time, let's hear from the 19th Episcopal District. So we have two presenters, one of which is Namtimba Koza. She is the president currently of the 19th Episcopal District lay organization. Nam has and is rather an ardent supporter of the lay. She's a proven leader. She's been instrumental in gathering the support for the 40th Biennial Convention. And you can only hear it and hear it best from her as she tells you with the enthusiasm that she has, what she is doing, what they are doing as a group, she and Herbert Mengati. Also, we have Noni. Noni, I had to do my homework and discover, I met her when I was in Johannesburg, but she is a person in her own right. I saw her on magazine covers and being honored from the city of Johannesburg in Gauteng, South Africa. She is the executive director of the Convention and Events Bureau and Gauteng Tourism Authority. So two remarkable and knowledgeable presenters, Namtimba Koza and Noni Kobeka. Nam.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I greet you all in the joy of knowing Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. It is exactly 365 days until the history is made. In exactly a year, history will have an address. It's under the African sky. For the first time, the Connectional Lay Organization Biennial session will make its way to Africa, bringing the connection together on the African soil for the 40th Biennial session. The countdown has already begun. Will you be there? I'm certainly going to be there. Be a part of this history. History has an address. What is the history address? The Biennial 2027, under the African sky, and the 40th CLO Biennial Convention. I greet you all brothers and sisters, in the joy of knowing Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. I am not having any presentation this afternoon, but I'd like to do a special greetings to the Lay Commission Chair, the President, and the Executive Board, and all esteemed members of this august body of the Connectional Lay Organization. I am bringing you two specialists from the 19th Episcopal District in South Africa. I'm presenting to you, before I'm presenting you Sister Noni Kobeka. I think Sister Patricia, yes, you did a great job to look out for this immaculate woman of God I'm about to present to you. She is the head of Gauteng Province Conventions and Events Bureau. She is the director. She is the partner to us as the lay organization, African Methodist Episcopal Church of the 19th. We have partnered with our government. So from start to finish, our partnership has been great. So she is going to come through and tell you a lot about our excursions. And then thereafter, I will come back to present Saving the Best for Last, the doctor that will answer all the questions that you might have had. But before I do that, I'm with my partner in crime here, Brother Herbert Mugadi, as we prepare to bring you the best and the best ever biennial convention you've ever had. I give you and I present to you, Sister Nonigubega. Over to you, my sister. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Can you kindly put your presentation down so that I can share? Thank you so much. I think Sonia has done good work for me, and what what I'm going to do was to just give everybody information about Gauteng and what we can offer, including pre and post tours that people can take. But most of the work has been done by Sonia. I think I'm being denied. I'm not sure why, in terms of the presentation. I'm being denied. So I just wanted to take you through the pre and post tours. Is there anyone that can help me on your
Yes,
side?
we'll hang on. The tech team will make you a co-host if possible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go slide by slide now because Sonia has covered most of the areas, but I just wanted to. Hello.
Let me see if I can share. Please do take your time to go slide the way you had prepared to present. Sonia was specifically talking to the delegation that will be coming from America. Remember, we're a global church. We've got our brothers. We've got 39 countries that need to descend to South Africa. So would you kindly just go through the presentation so we can make sure that we cover everybody? And I heard her saying Nelson Mandela, Robben Island was 18 years. Nelson Mandela stayed in the prison for 37 years. Thank you.
Okay, I think Namtima, what we need to do is to give the doctor the presentation so that I can be able to share and then drive it from this side. Is it okay?
You mean Dr. Morena to go first before you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. We'll save you for the best for the last thing. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Dr. Morena, do you have access to sharing as well?
I've sent my presentation to Brother Herbert Mugadi, if he can help me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think
Otherwise, I can start dealing with preliminary issues while he's sharing. But I'll be very quick.
Okay. I would really like you to have facility to share. So let's just give it some time. All right. But I need to, Sister Shine, I have sent it through to WhatsApp. If you could just assist with Dr. Morowane's presentation.
Yeah.
While I introduce Dr. Morowane to the members of the Connection Alley organization.
Okay.
I think Sister Shine will help us now. Okay. Apologies for that small glitch. We have here Dr. Reverend Murewane, who is one of our clergy from the AME Church. He's a qualified oral health practitioner in possession of the master's degree in public health and in public health policy. He's a qualified public health professional over 30 years of public health work, a senior manager in the Ministry of the Health South African, responsible for public health in 52 health districts. He comes through to you to ensure that any of the questions that might have risen from the presentations, the latter presentations that we have sent, you are certainly hearing it from a person that is responsible for the health issues in the continent of South Africa, in the country. So I present to you Dr. Morowane. While the screen is coming. All right.
No.
There you
Thank
go.
you very
It's
much.
coming on. It's coming
Thank you
on.
very
There
much.
you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam President, and the chair of the session, the lay commission chair, the connectional level, Bishop Brailsford, and the president of the lay organization, also Brother Makili. And let me just say, protocol is all observed. Firstly, I must say it's an honor to always share what one thinks he knows with the people that they think may know even more. And I'm saying may know even more because there's never end to knowledge. I just want to deal firstly with the preliminary issues that the convention is coming in August 2027. And here in the South, or in the east of USA, but in the south of the African continent, will be just in the middle of our, or just ending our winter. We have been observing, as people would know, because of the climate change, fairly warmer winters. And the August, it's normally not that cold, but it doesn't kill to be cautious about the weather. But I can tell you that time is a low season for malaria. But again, I mean, forewarned is forearmed, so there's no harm. But I just want to say there's no heightened risk for malaria at that time, especially for Johannesburg, which is more inland. But you have got what you call suitcase malaria, where people can bring malaria from some other places. With regard to the scare, and I'm going to deal with what I call the statement of the problem, that with regard to Ebola, we have observed that it's unfolding against just push up the slide, it's unfolding against a complex epidemiological, humanitarian, and security backdrop characterized by insecurity, highly mobile populations, including cross-border, and trade flows such as mining and other enterprises and industries, as well as the presence of large refugee communities. And I'm saying this because we have people who always speak about having porous borders, whether that's because of a highly humanitarian or it's just because of our own lax relationship with our neighbors. But we have had that challenge. So therefore, the Ebola outbreak happens on the backdrop of that, but we do have mechanisms in the country. For an example, we have been able to establish the Public Health Emergency Outbreak Center, and we also have prepared after COVID the National Action Plan for Public Health Emergencies, which is called NAPS. We also have currently, in response to Ebola, have established have written up a National Incident Action Plan for Ebola. And the reason we did that, we didn't want to generalize in terms of the management of communicable diseases, but we had to be very intentional, knowing that we're dealing with a problem of a different kind. Now, we have been assisted very greatly by WHO Afro. My colleague in the health profession would know, World Health Organization, African region. I know in America, you've got the PAHO, and we have also been assisted by the WHO country office. We have in the country, next slide, please. We have in the country mechanisms to offset any other problem. But in terms of countermeasures, which would become measures to try to offset what is about to come, we're saying, unlike your ordinary Ebola virus, the Ebola virus, which is a variant of the current virus that's there, we don't have licensed vaccine. So therefore, as I said earlier, we rely more on heightened education, risk communication, and community engagement, alerting everybody, publicizing, writing up on our website, and alerting people so that while we are mobilizing for advanced potential medical countermeasures, our people become educated. So therefore, what we rely on is, the doctor said, people must wash their hands, people must sanitize, people must respond to any other change in their health status, particularly if there's nasal bleeding, particularly if there's any other measure, any other unusual persistent coughs and upper respiratory tract infections. They must therefore report those, because Ebola virus can also spread through droplets. Next slide, please. And as I said earlier, we have been in communication through the African region of the WHO, where we were then informed that health authorities in both Uganda and the DRC have activated their national emergency coordination mechanisms and have equally established their response operation to strengthen surveillance. Because in order for any country to deal with outbreak of diseases such as Ebola, you need a stronger surveillance system. Surveillance is what is called your health intelligence. They're able to sniff and identify. So we're implementing integrated disease surveillance and response. And we're also informed that there's a rigorous laboratory testing, and there's also infection prevention and control mechanisms. They'll continue to do contact tracing, and they're doing case management. And WHO and the international partners are supporting both the countries, Uganda and the DRC, through deployment of technical experts. And we know that during outbreaks, the WHO unleashes its technical assistance, and we've seen that during COVID, to support countries. And that there's also been supporting the provision of medical supplies. And I'm emphasizing this, particularly on this slide, because it must never be taken as if DR Congo and Uganda are sitting back expecting anybody else to come and help them. They are also helping themselves. And they also have the WHO country offices, which is where the major support is coming from. Next slide, please. Now, what are we doing? I've already covered this, but I just want to say, in country, we continue with surveillance, we intensify contact tracing, and we're doing infection control. But of importance, we're mapping the health facilities. We're tracing people that come in our health facilities. Next slide. I think this one, the doctor presenting earlier spoke about it, which is about travel advisory and alert, and I've already made a comment on it. Next slide, please. Now, this map simply just shows, and there's a second speaker, sorry I missed the name, was talking about the distance between the countries and stuff. I can tell you, if you read the literature on international health regulations, it will tell you it doesn't matter how far the countries are. As long as humans are moving between and across borders, there's a risk. But we just want to show again, if you look at the red dots there, they are in Uganda, DR Congo. And the bottom part is the green dots that are showing South Africa, just as how far we are. But no, nothing normally stops human movement. So we just have to be careful with how we respond. Next slide, please. And most probably I'm going towards the end. Yeah, I think here I was just really saying, in South Africa, we don't have any case detected. We're regarded as a low-risk country, and we've got strong national
National Institute of Communicable Diseases, and we have got support from regional office of DR Congo. In a national or regional office of the World Health Organization, and we continue to be vigilant in terms of our surveillance. Next slide. This slide that's coming is just showing that these sources are not, this information is not coming from my head, but it's coming from documents. But just to say, we've got a very functional border management agency that has got a stronger presence of environmental health practitioners who are very good in terms of surveillance and early detection of any case that may come across the border. It's both, it's at the land ports, at the airports, and also at the harbors. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Moroane. I am sure we will upload this document and all the presentations that we've been doing on the microsite, Sister Patricia. But I think we have now relieved some questions and pressures from people that was thinking, hey, I'm coming to South Africa, there might be Ebola. No, we are safe. I am now presenting Sister Noni, who's going to come back and just take us through briefly. And as I said, all these presentations will be made available on the microsite. Thank you, Sister Noni. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I think I'm visible, and also you can hear me. So the proposed excursions are not only for Johannesburg and the surroundings, they're also for the country and other African countries that are nearby us, so that people that are visiting can be able to visit the continent. Next slide, please. So from what Sonia has presented, you can actually see there's South Africa. So where there is number one, you will be here. That's where the conference is, and you can actually see the other areas of South Africa that you can visit, and some of them it's those that Sonia has spoken about. So by flight, most of them are just 1 hour, 45 minutes and 2 hours. And there's also an option of using a route. So what is important is how we package in such a way that you don't feel the travel. The travel becomes part of the experience as you go along the country. There will be pre and there will be post tours depending on what you want and depending on the dates that are comfortable for your travel. So we are not going to give one option only. We are going to give a number of options. Next slide. A number of options so that you choose according to your availability and your pocket. So there will be day trips, there will be weekend stays, there will be events within the package themselves, and it will depend on what you want. We've packaged the tours in such a way that they cover adventure, they cover arts and culture, culinary, events and festival, history and heritage, nightlife. I know that most people that are from the US and around the country would like a lot of live jazz, rooftops, and all the things that have to do with arts, crafts, where they can buy a new art, where they can do shopping and fashion together with township and village experiences, and then close with safaris. And then we've got not only the wild safari, but we also have balloon safaris that you can enjoy, including wellness that we do in our country, the yogas, the walks in different areas where you can see attraction, but also meet the locals. Next slide. So it's a combination, and it's also complementing what Sonia has proposed. So we are proposing that the pre and post tours, together with additional tours, be in Gauteng, which is the Johannesburg where you are, and then there will be others that will go to Mpumalanga, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Vic Falls on the Zimbabwean side, but passing through Botswana. So those are some of the extended tours that we have included. Next slide. And next slide. So that's Johannesburg and the surroundings. I just wanna cover that. Next slide. So that you actually see where you are. So there are several things that you can see in Johannesburg, and you'll actually get a number of packages that will take you to different things that according to what you would like to see. I think Sonia has covered the Mandela House. If you see in the middle, we've got, rejuvenated or renewed areas such as the Mamoneng prisons, the Lesedi Cultural Village, if you want to understand the entire South African culture, going to different villages within that exhibition. And then we've got the Cradle of Humankind, we've got the Origins Museum to check your DNA, and we've got the safari, the balloon safari and the wild safari. You also have the hop on hop off bus, that you can see most of the places, and you can hop on and then you can hop off as you want. So it will depend on what people want and what people can do. But all that I will give it to Pat and Tim to upload, so that when you want to book, at least you've got that. And all our tour operators and tour guides are accredited through the tourism organization, and they are quality assured in terms of that. So only the ones that are quality assured and they are registered with the tour with government are the ones that are going to be used for this particular conference. Next slide. So there will be people that are interested in a paleontology science and the Cradle of Humankind. So those are some of the tours that will be there. I'm not going to go into details, but there are people that are interested in the live fossils, the Marupeng, and also seeing what the hominid species are, and also the Sterfontein caves and all that. There will be packages like that mixed with other packages. So you can select and make a package for yourself according to your according to what you like to see. And immediately when you've ticked everything that you want to tick, then you will get a quotation of how much it is, and then you can decrease or increase according to your package, or according to your to what you have, or according to the money that you have. And then when you are sure what you want to do, and then that's then you can book and pay according to the payment terms that are written on the online link that you would have chosen. Next slide. So I've covered just descriptions here so that you know what the air balloon covers and where is it located. I mean, it's located within the bushveld. So you can actually see the different things, including the Lesedi Cultural Village. Next slide. So we've got a number of descriptions that you will actually get from the links, so that whatever that you want to put in your own itinerary, you are able to select, but there will be a description of that particular tour. Then we've got a game reserve with free roaming Big Five. within Johannesburg, because some people might not have the time or the money to go outside of Johannesburg, and they would want to do everything here. So we are saying it's just 30 minutes, and some of the things are just 45 minutes from the conference venue, and you can do it all here in Johannesburg and the surroundings. Next slide. So that is, and then history of Soweto, the Apartheid Museum, the Regina Mundi, Hector Peterson, and the Mandela House. Those are some of the things then when you do your history tour, including meeting the locals in Soweto and just getting to know how people live in Soweto and all the experiences that have to do with the apartheid struggle and the exhibitions around there. Next slide. So our tours, as I said, it's tours that you can select according to your passion and according to what you would like to see, because some people are coming to South Africa for the second or third time. Some people are coming for the first time. So we are not going to customize it for you. You are going to customize it for yourself. And then from there, you will put the groups together so that they can be serviced. There are certain people that would like to have exclusive golf days. Some of them would like to have wellness and all those kind of things, because we are huge in golfing. And we've got luxury golf courses, and that will be mixed with excursions of the cultural experience, so that we cater for everyone. Next slide. Go with me, please.
I think we left with 15 seconds.
Yeah, and then we've got Mpumalanga and the surroundings. If you go through the slides, don't wait for me. Mpumalanga and the surroundings, that's also another tour where you will go to the Kruger National Park and see what Mpumalanga has to offer. So there's a description there, and because you're going to get the presentation, it will be much easier. KwaZulu-Natal, you can cruise and get close to the hippos and the crocodiles. Also see the value of the 1,000 hills. That's spectacular to see, and also visit the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. These are some of the pictures that you can actually see from the KwaZulu-Natal side of things. Next slide. Western Cape, we've spoken about Cape Town, but also there's a garden route that you can go to and end in Cape Town. I think Sonia has covered the Table Mountain, the winery. So you can have the whole half a day tasting different wines, or knowing how to serve wines, even if you don't drink, and all those, or how to cook with it and all that. But it's a scenery that you need to see. There's also Eastern Cape, where you can go and meet and do the tsitsikamas. The tours around that place are a different kind of tour. So I've given you all these and pictures so that we are able to look at it as you are choosing your tours, and according to your pocket and all that. I've also included the extended tours of Botswana, where you will go from maybe the Kruger National Park to Botswana, cross over to Zimbabwe Vic Falls, passing the elephants and the buffaloes on the edge of the river, and maybe seeing your next meal, the kingfisher, and then land at the Victoria Falls, which is known as the Smoke of the Thunders. So all those will be your extended tours. So I will send the link so that you are able to choose for yourself, and then go according to your pocket, and also the descriptions that are in the presentation, which will be much easier for yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Noni. Thank you so much, Sister Pat, for the opportunity. We really appreciate.
Yes,
the countdown
ma'am.
has already begun. 365 days till we meet. We are going to see you soon. Thank you.
And thank you so much. As you can tell, everyone listening, there's so much, so much. So we may have to have a subsequent session just about all the things that Sister Noni has just shared with us. For those of us who are wanting to go on some excursions and hear more, we can have a dedicated session just to that kind of information. Let's hear from Michael. Michael has been waiting patiently. He's been traveling, and he's traveled all the way just to speak to us. Mr. Cousin, you're next.
Thank you so much, Madam Director of Lay Activities. And my apologies for the delay. I am traveling from Toronto for our Canadian Annual Conference to, again, Bishop Bronnie Brailsford, our Commission Chair, President McKeady, our Director of Lay Activities, Patricia Wright. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present. And our Young Adult Representative, Amy Beasley. This is just one travel option for our 2027 Biennial Convention in Johannesburg, South Africa. And this will not be a long presentation because for more information, you can visit the website delta.com. For those of you who do not know, 4th Episcopal District Lay President, bring you greetings on behalf of Bishop Frederick Allen Wright and Supervisor Jennifer Dixon Wright. But I have been employed Delta Airlines Incorporated for the last 15 years as a customer service supervisor and a certified field trainer. So while there are options going to South Africa, this is just one. And of course, for obvious reasons, job security, I would love for you to consider this option with us at Delta Airlines. You can proceed to the next slide. So for Delta Airlines, there is one route, one daily flight, and that is from Atlanta, Georgia to Johannesburg. The eastbound journey is at about 15 and a half hours. As of right now, the schedule is a 10 p.m. departure Eastern Time, arriving into Johannesburg, OR Tambo International at 7:40 p.m. South African time. The westbound journey, again, these times are based on the schedule as of now, as of this month, is at 9:59 p.m. South African time, arriving into Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson at 7:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The travel on this flight to Atlanta is on our flagship Airbus 350 aircraft 900 series. And for those of us who have traveled extensively around the world, especially with Delta Airlines, can attest to how advanced this aircraft is and how luxurious it is, especially in some of our upper cabins. And we'll talk just a little bit about that in another slide. You can proceed to the next slide. All right, so this gives you a glimpse of what the upper cabin looks like on that Airbus 350-900 aircraft. So this picture is of our flagship Delta One suites. So if anyone has experienced Delta One, specifically our frequent flyers, our Sky Miles Medallion members, you know that these suites, you will enjoy lie flat, meaning that you will be all the way laid out like you are on the bed, 180 degrees, and you have larger TV screens and you have attentive flight attendants. But of course, there is a cost. So the costs that you see right here are based on 6 months out, 6 months out, and it's for a week stay. Delta Main, and this is our economy cabin right now, is estimated at about 1,700 to 2,100 US dollars. Again, these fares are subject to change. We know what's going on in the world today, but specifically with fuel surcharges and international departure taxes, those can also drive up the fares at any given time. These fares are also based on departures from Atlanta, Newark, Los Angeles, and I believe I did Washington Dulles. So just a few, just sample fares. And also for my Detroiters, this is also included in that range. So 1,700 to 2,100 US for Delta Main. Delta Comfort is about 2,400 to 2,700 US dollars, and that's economy with a little more legroom. You get the same service as you would in Delta Main. It's pretty much all coach. Now, our Delta Premium Select, which is comparable to a business class cabin, is at about 34 to 3,800 US dollars. These prices are without any discounts that any travel agency may provide. These are what we call our marketed fares. Our Delta Premium Select cabin is comparable to a domestic first class seat with a footrest. So if you do not want to spend all of the money that you see on the very far right that I'm about to read for Delta One, Delta Premium Select may be the way to go. Delta One, the first class seats, which you see in this picture, are at 83 to 8,700 US dollars. And the closer to the date and the longer that you wait, those fares I have seen escalate to more than $15,000 for Delta One. Next slide, please. All right, next. Are we able to proceed to the next slide? Okay, there we go. Thank you. So throughout the whole cabin, there's free Wi-Fi access, and this is eligible for Sky Miles members. It is free to sign up for a Delta Sky Miles account. You go delta.com/Sky Miles. When you're on the aircraft, you can just use your Sky Miles account number to sign in, and you will have free Wi-Fi access. But again, between the States and South Africa, there are some blackout areas. So just keep that in mind that the wider coverage is predominantly North America, South America. But as you cross the Atlantic, the Wi-Fi access could go in and out. Seatback screen entertainment with hundreds of movies, TV, games, and music, power outlets at every seat. And for every cabin, there's at least 3 meal offerings. There's a dinner, a mid-flight break, and a breakfast. And complimentary snacks and beverages, and a pillow and blanket at every seat. So these are just some of the amenities. And even those amenities are subject to change between now and next August in 2027. Next slide. All right, so just exploring some of our Delta hubs. So we know that there's one flight daily from Atlanta, and that's on what we call Delta Metal, meaning that what you're flying on is Delta Airlines from Atlanta, one daily flight, that's it. However, we do have other hub flights, and when you go on delta.com and you type in your search, you may notice that there are other offerings available. Those offerings are available on our joint venture or code share offerings. So, for example, if you are departing or connecting through not Atlanta, but maybe Detroit, Minneapolis, Salt Lake City, New York, Boston, Seattle, or Los Angeles, you may notice that there are offerings through Amsterdam or Paris. That's because Delta Airlines is what I call BFFs, best friends forever, or joint venture partners, meaning that we share revenue and services. So, what you may see are flights on Delta or one of our partners to and from Amsterdam or Paris. And then those flights from Amsterdam and Paris will be on either KLM from Amsterdam or Air France from Paris. Even Virgin Atlantic, there are offerings from London Heathrow down to Johannesburg. If you are a Sky Miles member with Delta Airlines, you're eligible to earn Sky Miles on those flights, even though they may not be a Delta Airlines flight. Delta markets those flights, but again, they are joint venture partners, meaning that we share revenue and services. Next slide. All right. And then my final thoughts: book the international travel 2 to 6 months from your travel dates. The sooner, the better. The sooner, the better. And with a large number of people going to Johannesburg around the same time, I can talk about dynamic pricing now. What we have understood as a myth, booking on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or late Saturday nights may be the case for domestic flights. However, airlines agencies have gotten a lot smarter. And so they track the real-time demand of bookings from certain cities to Johannesburg. And as the demand increases, so do the fares. So keep that in mind about the power of dynamic pricing. However, you can purchase flights that depart on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So the difference in actually purchasing the flights on these days versus flying out on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, those flights are typically cheaper. Purchase travel insurance. Again, anything can happen if your luggage is lost, if you need hotel for whatever reason because you missed your connection or whatever costs associated with the flight interruption. Travel insurance will cover 100% of those costs. The airline won't. So in other words, if you lose some luggage or if you need a hotel room for the rest of the night, the airline may not cover the entire cost. They may cover up to a certain limit, but will advise you next time get travel insurance. We don't have to cover all of that. And then last but not least, pray, be flexible, and be patient. Just in this presentation alone, I have learned to be flexible and to be patient as my travel was impacted, potentially missing this presentation. So again, be flexible, be patient, and pray. And just pray for your airline workers because we do not do things intentionally. There are some things that are beyond our control, and we appreciate your patience. The last slide is just contact information. A lot of you know how to get in touch with me, but again, delta.com is your way to go. If you need some best practices or some more tips, these are ways to contact me. District presidents and connectional officers have my information. Madam Director, thank you so much for this opportunity to present. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you under the African skies.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for pressing your way. And thank you all for sticking with us. We went a little bit over time, but I think it was worth the while. The information was amazingly needed and timely and useful. And so I want to remind you that we have a microsite that the 19th District developed. And some of the questions that are in the chat, those questions have already been addressed on the site. So we may have to have a Zoom session just to explore that site so you can see all of the information that's available. But for the next, give us like 5 minutes. Tech team, Ashley, you're gonna pull out some of the questions. We can't answer all the questions, but we're gonna take a potpourri, if you will, just a sprinkling of the various questions, and we'll try to address some of them. Ashley, you wanna pop some out?
Yes, thank you, Dola Wright. We've had a lot of questions. Everybody's exciting. There's a lot of chatter in the chat box. We're very grateful for that. We had some questions about the weather. We know they said it will be in winter, and we thankful to our family in that region that shared that it will be warm and windy. Somebody put that in the chat. Did anyone want to speak to the weather so they know how to pack?
Nam? Herbert? August weather in the wintertime of South Africa. What's it like there now? Can they unmute? Timba?
It's a nice weather. I'm here, Pat. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a nice weather. It's warm. It wouldn't be as cold as that. So, yes, it might be windy. There will be a lot. It will be like Chicago. Take the Chicago weather, and then that is exactly how it will be in August next year.
Chicago is cold.
Wonderful. And I know there were some questions because we love to shop. We love to bring back items just to show our memories from where we have traveled. I know people were asking about shipping. I will say that shipping internationally does cost. If you have a little bit room in your bag, please consider saving some space so that you can pack some items there. It might be a little bit cheaper for you to pack it in your bag than to ship it internationally. Now, there is a question about logistics and housing. One of the questions was, and I do want to go to the health side real quickly. One of the questions was, will there be medical personnel on the site during the conference?
We'll have medical commission there. We'll have people there. Specifically, we don't know who, but we'll have a a space there for the medical assistants. I was gonna we're still in the we're still in the stages of planning, but yes, the answer is yes, simply yes. But Nam can speak to that. Go ahead, Nam. I'm sorry, Noni.
Noni, yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. When we do conferences here, we've got on site, according to the number of people, the emergency services, ambulances, nurses, they will be at the convention center. And 100 walking distance is the main hospital. So what we do is that they are aware there will be a dedicated doctors that will be on standby for this particular conference in the hospital itself also. So that particular element, we call it joint operations on our side. So it's done for every conference. So, and you will know the medic room in each and every hotel and each and every conference center or place that you go, because that is the first thing you'll be told where to find the medic room, but it is there.
Thank you so much for that. The next question deals with addressing the handicap assess or some use of scooters. So they want to see if that would be available for individuals that may need that for mobility concerns.
I believe, and Sharon's not, they have accessible rooms, and they're working on the scooter piece. But Noni, go ahead, Noni.
Yeah, we're working on finding enough scooters. I think, Pat, you will guide us on your registration when people register on what is the level of accessibility that they would want. But we were aware of that because we've got certain conferences that were here and we needed to make sure that we've got that. So we have a list of all the service providers that we can share with you and share the type of scooters, but we need to make sure if they need them from the airport or they need them from the conference room or the hotel, because that is also important on how to arrange for them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to switch over to logistic and housing. One of the questions deal with the housing for individuals who are doing the double, yeah. So they want to know, is that price per person or will that be individual pricing?
If I could, Madam Dola.
Sure.
The
Kathy?
prices are, there's a one price for single and then an additional price for if it's a double. And so there are two prices. Once information is provided, they get the registration link, they'll be able to determine what those costs are. But a single room is the lowest amount, and then your double will be a bit more expensive, but it's not that great of an expense.
And on the microsite,
I'm sorry.
I was just on the microsite, there's a calculation tool there. You can go there and figure out if you try to budget and plan your finances or what you have in your pocketbook, as Noni says, then you can use that site to help you figure what you're spending.
The question is more so with that double occupancy, is that per person or would that be just one rate?
It's one rate. It's one rate. So if the rate started out at 1875 Rand for one person, and then it will go up to one person in the room, then it goes up for two people in the room, but it's not per person.
Thank you. Another question deals with reservations. If for some reason a person is unable to attend, can they transfer it to another person?
Reservation for the room or registration for the convention?
I think it's both, because I've seen that question asked two different ways. So for housing and for registration.
I can answer for convention registration. If there is a need to change, it is transferable, but it will have to go through, if it's a delegate, it would have to go through the Episcopal district, If it's an observer, then we will work with the observer to transfer the registration. As far as the hotel, we'll have to ask our housing unit about that.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
We'll take time for one or two more, then we're gonna wrap it up.
There's a question about if a person wants to arrive early, will those prices be listed during the registration process as well?
Yes, there in the confirmation email, it gives you the range of dates that the hotel will allow. If you want to stay outside of that range, you would have to contact the hotel directly. But all of that information will be included in the confirmation email. And I think we'll try to put some out on the microsite as well. We can provide some additional information there about the range of dates and then the confirmation.
Okay.
And one last one was about vendors. Will we have vendors there at the convention?
Yes, we are working on vendors. We're looking at the space, and we will definitely have vendors. The CLO will have a store. The layaway store will be open, and we have special things that we're hoping to provide. And so, yes, we will have vendors. It's still early. We just haven't worked out all the details yet. If you're interested in being a vendor, we'll put information out so you can let us know immediately, because there'll be limited space. I think everybody will want to be a vendor, maybe, but we will provide information for those who are interested.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, thank you, everyone. We said 90 minutes. We've been over almost an hour past that, but the fact that you are still here, the fact that you have stayed means that it speaks to the fact that you're interested, that you're excited, and that this is a great time in the life of our church. So once again, we thank you for coming. We have just begun the conversation. We hope that today you have received enough information to whet your appetites to begin planning, whether you're in your individual districts, you're planning a group travel, or you're looking at your families or your friends, or telling folks even outside of the AME Zion. But we want you to start now with how many days? 365 days out before the convening of the convention. We want you to get started on your mark, get set, and go. Again, thank you for being here today. Look forward to our subsequent sessions that we will have on this conversation. But for right now, you have been given the information for registration, for planning, for travel. Get started, get ready. And thank you for being a part of this as we make our way to a place called Johannesburg, South Africa, where we'll all gather together under the African skies. Thank you, and God bless you.